Greetings, friends, and welcome to episode 262 of the Projekt Gemineye update. Today is November 17th, 2025. It is the evening time here. It gets dark pretty early here now in Canada. I'm sure it's not as dark as it is in Sweden and other places in Scandinavia. I think they're starting to approach their 24 hours of darkness. But that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to talk about those kinds of things. I'm here to talk about Projekt Gemini stuff, namely the dark days of yesterday. Ironic that that titled, you know, that's the title of the album, considering I just talked about darkness. Anyways, sorry, I just went off track there a bit. So I'm here first of all to say thank you to everybody who has ordered a CD or has ordered the album digitally, and or for people who just listened to it or have been streaming it off the Bandcamp site. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, I still know there's some people out there who haven't bought their CDs who are usual purchasers of the Projekt Gemini CD. I'm sure there might be a reason, whether it's bills or whatever. I fully understand, but I'm hoping that you guys will also participate in grabbing a copy of the CD. As I said before, any purchase of the CD goes directly into buying into doing the vinyl, and as we all know, vinyl is not cheap to make, and everything is going up in that regard, unfortunately. So it's always a struggle as an independent artist to take that route. But I'm sure we can do it. My supporters are fantastic. I have no what's the word I'm looking for here? See, this is the problem with having no editing skills or not having editing on this program. I have no doubts, there we go, that my supporters will come through in the end and make everything happen as they usually do. But again, thank you to everybody who has bought a copy of the album. Um, Speaking of albums, I've never really done this before, but I'm going to take a moment to do this. There are two people who I think I should do a shout out to. Ryan McKay, he's a great guitar player, fantastic guitarist, great songwriter. He lives in America. He was in the Crash Street Kids, I believe they were called Crash Street. I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but Ryan McKay is a great guitarist, and uh, he's just put out a new album now, I believe, uh, as well. Which the title is escaping me. I'm sorry, but you just go to Ryan McKay on Bandcamp.com. I have his previous two records, and they're fantastic. If you like uh, pop rock, sort of stuff inspired by Queen and Cheap Trick and bands like that, you'll love his music. And my friend Havard, who has a band called Moonscape. He's in from Norway, I believe it is, and he does symphonic metal, fantastic stuff. So check those both out on Bandcamp, and you won't be disappointed if you like that style of music. Um, so again, for all you people in Europe, uh, I just went to the post office just a day or two ago to double check this whole situation with the postage and stuff, and I've been told by a very reliable person that I know at the post office that sending off to Europe uh, is not an issue coming from Canada. Especially there's no there's no tariffs or any of these other things going on. So she told me point blank that for me to send something to Europe should be no issue. The only issue will be whether it's sent by ground or by air. One costs considerably more than the other, and one takes a little bit longer than the other. But as long as it gets there, I think that's the main thing. So I've been told that all you people in Europe and in the UK, not to stress over this. You can order at will, no problem, and you will receive your CD. And you know what? It might be better to even try that if you're unsure, because you know rather than have something happen with a vinyl order, might be something if something does happen, which I've been told is not going to happen. I keep having to stress this that it'll go safe and sound. Ordering a CD and it comes safe and sound, then you'll know that nothing will happen. So, anyways, I know I'm babbling on and hopefully making sense here, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is don't feel nervous to order, because I know that it's not just me. I know there's a lot of other of us independent musicians who've had this discussion with each other about how we've noticed that people are sometimes a little bit more hesitant now to order stuff, whether it's because of, just the way the economics are working right now in the world because of certain situations. Everything has jumped up and things are harder to get and blah 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 blah. But anyways, don't let music, don't let that stop you from getting music. And like I said before, I read a great article about it that music is not tariffed. Music is considered education. CDs and vinyl and all that is not a tariffed item. So just remember that when you're looking for music, whether it's mine or other people's, like Ryan's or Havard's or other bands that are out there. Uh, and now the last thing I'll talk about really quickly before I go is, as promised, I will talk about the last two songs on the new album. Uh, the fifth song, which is A Voice in the Dark, is the other epic on the album. This one is just shy of 10 minutes long, and lyrically, it is what you probably think. That old story where you have two voices, one sitting on each shoulder. One is an angel, one is a devil. And this song talks about the voice in the dark, which is usually the not too good voice, that the voice that sometimes people blame for doing wrong things in their life. That they when the subconscious talks to them, sometimes they get the wrong info, or they do the wrong thing, and sometimes they blame that little voice in the dark that told them that it was the right idea to do it. Uh, I know it sounds cockamamie, but you'd be surprised how many people actually believe that. And you know, in some of my more weakened states, whether it was on whatever, if it's alcohol or whatever it is, sometimes people use that as a means to get out of uh, responsibility. Let's just put it that way. See what I mean when I said that these lyrics are kind of dark? Don't worry, the next record is nothing like that. Uh, More on a positive note, let's just put it that way. But I really felt it was important for me to get this out of my system. But musically, great stuff. Lots of guitars, some affected, almost Leslie speaker type guitars. I mean, it's out there now, so you can hear it for yourself. Lots of big bashing drums, bass lines that are some nice runs on there. Lots of keyboard stuff, uh, harmonized vocals, harmonized guitar lines. It's all there. It's the kind of Projekt Gemineye stuff that you've come to you know love if you are buying this music. And the last song I'm going to talk about is the song All the Things You Fear. Now, this one ends up being a bonus track on the digital and on CD, and it will not appear on the vinyl. Why? Because as you all know, I'm a firm believer that vinyl is best sounding when it's between 36 minutes and 39 minutes, roughly, on vinyl. Because once you start getting past that, past 40 minutes, then you got to start making some compromises. Whether it's you have to turn the volume a bit more down, or you have to compromise some of the low end to make it all fit. And I don't want to do that. I want to have the music sound as fantastic as possible, because you people who spend your hard-earned money on the music that I make, I want it to come out the absolute best possible way that it can. So that's why I keep it at that length. Now to the song, again, this song, you can hear it now. It's on the Bandcamp site. Again, this one has another very dark, anthemic sort of guitar piece at the beginning with some very nice piano parts on there. I've really grown to love the piano in my own music. I don't like it so much on other people's music, but you know, well, I love it on Yes. Don't forget, I mean, I love that band Yes, and Rick Wakeman can do no wrong on a piano. Um, so there you go for that. So there you go with that. Now lyrically, it's this one's a little bit more easier to understand. It's all those things that you fear. People who there's kind of I know these kind of people that live in fear of everything. What happens if? Why I'm not going to do that because this could happen, or what if that happens? And it's a very restrictive way of living. Uh, and in the bridge part, I kind of put up these little scenarios of things that people fear. A mountain with no snow. Uh, what I forget some of the other ones now. The mountain without snow, a river without water, a child who never smiles. Those are all the things that you fear. Those are the kind of little metaphors for that sort of way of thinking. So lyrically, I'm pretty happy with that song. I think it turned out well. It's not one of these ones where people start scratching their head going, what the hell is he talking about? It's very to the point, but it has a strong point to it. So that's the songs in brief form, and now you can hear them all on the Bandcamp site, which is just Project Gemini. So https colon slash slash Project Gemini, all one word, bandcamp.com. You go to the site, everything is there. Older records. By the way, there's still vinyl copies available of the last record, Canada, Tales and Stories, Stories and Tales. I don't remember the exact title now, but there's a few copies of vinyl left on that, and it's only $20. So if you haven't gotten a copy of that album, I would recommend that as well. Um, but yeah, so that's uh, the song overview of this latest record, The Dark Days of Yesterday. Support independent music, grab yourself a copy, and yeah, enjoy the music. I think that you will really enjoy this record. I've had some very positive reviews of people who have gotten it already. Whether well, mainly digitally, they're waiting for the CDs just like everybody else. But they've downloaded digital versions onto their phones or onto their players and stuff, and they've been enjoying it, and that's fantastic news. So grab your copy, enjoy the record, and I'll be back very soon with another update. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.